Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a terrific day. Today we're going to talk about the Mothman. The story of a bird the size of a man with wings. Did this really happen or is it a hoax? I'll let y'all decide. I am Agent J.A., and this is Chronicles of the Unexplained and Explained. In the autumn of 1966, the little river town of Point Pleasant in West Virginia sat quietly between dark hills and the slow-moving waters where the Ohio River and Kanawha rivers met. It was the kind of place where everyone knew one another, where porch lights glowed late into the evening, and where the loudest sound after midnight was usually the distant whistle of a freight train. But that year something changed. People would later say the town felt wrong before anything was ever seen. Dogs barked at empty fields. Birds vanished from the trees near the old TNT area outside town. A cluster of abandoned World War II bunkers and overgrown roads left to decay after the war. Hunters avoided the woods because they felt watched. Families began locking doors they had never bothered to close before. Then came the first sighting on November 15, 1966. Two young couples, Roger and Linda Scarberry, and Steve and Mary Millette, were driving through the old TNT area after dark. Their headlights cut through fog and drifting leaves as they passed the concrete domes and rusting fences. The place already felt eerie. Pools of stagnant water reflected the moonlight, and the old power plant nearby groaned in the wind. As they rounded a bend near an abandoned generator building, Linda screamed. Standing beside the road was a massive gray figure. At first they thought it was a man. Then it moved. It was over 6 feet tall, broad-shouldered, with folded wings pressed against its back. But what froze them in terror were the eyes, two glowing red circles that reflected the headlights like burning coals. The creature lurched forward. Roger slammed the accelerator, tires skidding on gravel. The car shot down the road at nearly 100 miles per hour. Behind them, something rose into the air. Mary looked through the rear window and began crying. The thing was following them, not flapping like a bird, but gliding impossibly fast above the car. Its wings stretched nearly 10 feet across, and its red eyes stayed fixed on them the entire chase. They burst into town pale and shaking and reported the encounter to the sheriff. The local newspaper ran the story the next day. A reporter compared the creature to the villain from the TV show Batman, and the name Mothman was born. Most people laughed for about a week, then the sightings spread. A volunteer fireman claimed he saw a giant bird rise straight into the air like a helicopter. A contractor outside town reported seeing glowing eyes staring at him from a field. Two gravediggers said a huge winged figure lifted itself from a nearby cemetery and flew over their heads. One family swore the creature circled their house nightly. Another said it scratched at their roof. Soon the town was consumed by fear. Teenagers drove out to the TNT area hoping for a glimpse. Ministers preached about demons. Scientists came searching for rare birds. UFO enthusiasts arrived claiming the creature was extraterrestrial, and stranger things followed. Phones crackled with static when witnesses spoke about the creature. Men in dark suits allegedly appeared in town asking bizarre questions and warning people not to discuss what they had seen. Some residents claimed they experienced nightmares involving red eyes staring through their windows. One woman said her television would switch on by itself after she encountered the creature. Another claimed her German Shepherd vanished after chasing something into the TNT woods. By December, Point Pleasant had become famous across America. Reporters crowded diners and gas stations asking terrified locals for interviews. The town's sheriff, George Johnson, tried to calm people, insisting no evidence proved anything supernatural existed. But even he admitted the witnesses were genuinely frightened, and the deeper people looked, the stranger the story became. The TNT area itself seemed almost designed for nightmares. Thick fog rolled through the abandoned munitions domes. Chemicals from wartime manufacturing had polluted nearby ponds, creating twisted landscapes where dead trees rose from black water. At night, the silence there felt unnatural. Some investigators believed witnesses were simply seeing a large sandhill crane, a tall bird with reddish markings around its eyes. Others suggested mass hysteria fueled by media attention. Rush hour traffic crowded the Silver Bridge, which connected Point Pleasant to Gallipolis, Ohio, built in 1928. The bridge carried far more weight than engineers originally intended. At 5 p.m., without warning, the bridge collapsed. Cars plunged into the freezing Ohio River, steel twisted like paper. 46 people died. The disaster shocked the nation almost immediately. Rumors spread that Mothman had been seen near the bridge before the collapse. Whether those stories were true became impossible to separate from legend, but after the collapse, the sightings stopped completely. It was as if the creature had vanished the moment tragedy struck. Years later, writer John Keel published the book The Mothman Prophecies, arguing that the creature was not simply an animal, but some kind of supernatural omen connected to disasters and unexplained phenomena. The book transformed the story from local folklore into worldwide legend. In 2002, it inspired the film The Mothman Prophecies starring Richard Gere, bringing new waves of tourists to Point Pleasant. Today, the town embraces the legend. A metallic statue of Mothman stands downtown. Every year, crowds gather for the Mothman Festival, celebrating the mystery with music, stories, and paranormal tours through the old TNT grounds. And yet, despite decades of investigation, nobody knows what truly happened. Was Mothman a misidentified bird? A collective panic? A supernatural warning? Something not human at all? Watching, waiting for whatever comes next. On quiet nights in Point Pleasant, locals still tell stories about glowing red eyes in the trees beyond the old bunkers. Hunters still avoid certain roads after dark, and sometimes when fog rolls over the river and the wind moves through the dead trees near the abandoned TNT domes, people claim they hear the sound of enormous wings beating somewhere overhead. Watching, waiting for whatever comes next. So, ladies and gentlemen, on all the research I've done on this story, it appears something really did happen. So, was it the Mothman trying to warn us about something that was about to happen, or was it just a coincidence? I'll let you decide. This is Agent J, and this is Chronicles of the Unexplained and Explained. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And always keep an open mind.